What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review. This is The Handmaid's Tale, Season 6, Episode 4, Promotion. We're going to keep catching up with these videos all the way up into next week. On the season finale, I will be hosting a live watch party over on my Discord channel. I will drop a link for you to join if you want to watch it. We'll be watching it at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night. Okay? Promotion. They back at the dark and dingy Mayday base. And June looks pissed. She looks perturbed. You hear drills swirling, hammers hitting, and then off in the distance you hear Luke's voice. And he's giving instructions on someone about a building. And I was assuming they were building something because there's a lot of metalwork going on. June comes in. You could tell by somebody's demeanor and their facial tics and short pauses, and you know, it's like she's intending to interrupt, but at the same time act like, you know, my bad, that type of situation. That's how she's looking. And June interrupts, but Luke shuts her down like, hey, hold up, I'm in the middle of something right now. Don't be fucking rude, is basically what he's saying. Don't be rude. Give me a minute. I'm in the middle of something. June didn't like that. She didn't like that he told her to bow down. Just, calm down for a second. Let me finish what I'm doing and I'll get back to you. June likes to be in charge. Okay. He said, give me a minute. And she just said, okay, but still stood there asserting her presence. When he was done, he lets her know what's going on. They are plotting and they are scoping out where they are going to place the bombs. This has been Luke's baby. Luke has been generating all the ideas, making the bombs, everything, where they gonna hit them at. This is all Luke's doing. So when he was done, he like, we about to blow shit up, baby. We about to blow shit up. He feeling proud about himself. But you could see in her face that she is really freaking annoyed at this process. She's really freaking annoyed that he is so involved and that people are counting on him. June has to be the hero of this story. She's the Harriet Tubman of this story, remember? Luke is like, he got everything on task. I know where the routes are going to be. I know who we're going to hit. I know the locations that we're going to strike and how they're going to be able to move in and out. It's all planned out. June is like, right. Yeah. Hope it works out for you. You know, she's very sarcastic in her response. And I was like, why do I feel like June is going to alert Nick so he could be out of harm's way? That's all I picked up from that whole situation, is that she's going to alert him about what Luke is planning to get him out of harm's way. And by the look on Luke's face, he could tell something on her mind too, like something's off with her, but he don't bother to address it right now. She lets him know that Tuello is on the way there. How do they know Tuello is on the way there? They ain't supposed to have no phone communication. But anyway, Tuello comes in and shares that Luke's case was dismissed, but only because they shared the secrets that he found with Canada. Canada still wants to know who were the ones responsible for the airstrike as well, which is surprising to me, considering that Canada didn't have nothing to do with that. That was all Mayday's doing, going in there trying to attack. But since they shared that information with Canada, Canada decided to drop Luke's case, on top of the fact they consider his case self-defense. That should have been all they needed in the first doggone place. He was defending his freaking wife who had just got struck by a damn car. Well, since they dropped his case, Luke will now be deported out of Canada. Woohoo! Tuello said he's going to work on flight arrangements to get them out of there. And I'm like, So he's been deported to Alaska along with June. That's right. They didn't know June had left. Remember, June left under fake papers. Okay, so they're going to all be deported. Everybody except for Moira, I'm assuming. Okay. But you could tell that Luke doesn't look happy about the fact that he's about to be deported. His work has just begun here. And it's not the right time for him to leave. He never said the words, but I felt everything. I saw it all in his face. Like I said, this is the best that I've seen this character act as far as portraying Luke in such a long time. He had one good season that he did some phenomenal shit, but for the most part, this is the best that I've seen him act. And I could tell what he's thinking without him even saying anything. June tries to butter him up like, oh my goodness, we get to go back to Alaska. You know, Holly has gotten so big. She'll be happy to see you. I'm surprised he didn't ask, who the fuck is Holly? because she's always introduced Holly to him as Nicole. And he just looked at her. And I'm thinking that Luke is thinking, well, what about Hannah? That's all I keep saying. The whole look on Luke's face through this entire episode said to me, what about Hannah? Okay. So June was like, I was I wrote it down. June, the way she is acting is like she's forgotten about Hannah. She forgot that's why Luke said he wanted to get in his fight, that he wanted to go back for his daughter, that's what he had to do. June seems to not really be in tune with what's driving Luke at this point. So when he got pulled away for a second, you could see June looking at something. And I was like, what is she looking at? She looked very interested, like it was schematics in the plan or something. And like I said, I think she's going to use whatever information she can learn from Luke to help Nick. I do. Luke or warn Nick, and maybe Nick can circumvent some shit. I don't know. But anyway, she's hell-bent on them not succeeding in this mission. Well, Luke comes back to her and apologizes for not letting her in on him joining up with Mayday. We could have been more forthcoming. Me and Moira, we sorry. We just didn't want you to worry. But she was like, well, I am worried. And y'all got caught in this, that, and third. He was like, well, if the patrols hadn't shown up, we would have been successful. We was able to get in. We should have been able to get out with just a problem. And these patrols just came out of nowhere. So she's like, oh, yeah, that's the problem. You can't predict what was going to happen. And I'm like, well, if your boyfriend hadn't punked out, and gave them the list of what the patrols were supposed to be, then maybe they wouldn't have had that problem. But that's neither here nor there, okay? So Luke tell her he's staying, okay? It's his job to deliver the bombs. He's not going to Alaska. So she didn't like, she's like, don't you think I want those commanders dead? Don't you think I want to hurt them? He said, and you have hurt them time and time again. But now it's my turn to inflict the pain. It's my turn to bring the rain, right? I personally don't think that you want them dead, June. That's me, okay? But what do I know? Well, what I do know, she don't want Nick harmed, okay? But if she really wanted those people dead, she would push Serena Joy off that plane to her death, off that train to her death. That's what I said. Well, I don't know what it is about this conversation that June is having and the way she's acting. It's like, damn, getting back Hannah is not important if Nick got to pay the price. That's what she's thinking, or that's what I'm getting from her. And I feel like that's why she was selling that whole bit to her mama, that Hannah don't even remember me, as an excuse of why she's not trying to rescue her daughter. She's like, these people are professionals. She's talking about the people that's around her. June, you not a professional either, honey. You're not a professional either. They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to do. You haven't known how to fight either. I mean, you really haven't either. Okay. Anyway, I mean, the shit, where you got to where you at now is because you betrayed the other fucking handmaids. Well, she says Holly needs us. Holly needs us. And like I said, I kept wondering, is he not noticing that she keep calling her Holly instead of Nicole? Then she said, my mom needs us. It's time for us to start over and build a life together. Now, ain't this the same speech that her mama just said to her? It's time for you to just start your life over here in Alaska. And she was like, no, I gotta go back and rescue them. Here she is, June, being selfish as fuck again. She's a selfish ass person. She is all about what she wants, what she needs. Damn everybody else. Ain't nobody else smart. Ain't nobody else got no fucking ideas. Just her. Okay? And if it's not aligning with her mission, fuck y'all mission. She proved that when she didn't let those people on the train enact their revenge on Serena Joy, right? He needs to save his own fucking child. You keep talking about Holly. Holly ain't his. You keep talking about Holly like fuck your child. Your other child, June. Okay? Luke just looks at her like, is she for real right now? I know she tripping. Is she for real? He like, you know what? Let me walk away before I say something she gonna regret. Okay? June's like, well, you know I love you. He said, yeah, love you. Mm-hmm. Well, like somebody revealed back on episode 2 that Rita made her way to New Bethlehem. And she's greeted by Serena Joy. I can't get it. I'm not gonna be like, hey, Serena Joy, I'm not gonna be happy to see my motherfucking oppressor. It's not gonna work for me. It's not gonna happen. Oh damn, my prescription ready already. Okay, Her sister's like nowhere around at this point, and she ain't sure if she even coming. And I was like, how did she even find this sister? How did she know this sister was going to be in New Bethlehem? How did she know her sister wasn't already dead? Serena said that her and Nick pulled the strings to make sure she got Rita's sister there. And at that moment when she said that, she ran up to her, and they were so happy and elated to see each other alive. And I'm thinking, you and Nick orchestrated this? So Nick does have power to find people and bring people to where you want them to be? Hannah. Okay. Well, back at Mayday, they're determined to plan. That they determined that the plan is to hit Jezebel's first. June is in full-on Karen mode. Full-on Karen mode. It's not gonna work. You're doing this wrong. You're gonna do that wrong. I hate a motherfucker always got some negative shit to say without any solutions that you bring to the table. She's like, what you gonna do? Go in guns blazing? Yes. Okay. Her suggestion is to use poison. Okay, hotshot, how do you propose to go in and give them the poison? But that's neither here nor there either, because Ellen tell her that they testing everything right now, so they ain't gonna be able to get poison in as effective as it did back when she was in the system. Okay, so June keeps throwing salt in the game over and over again, making everyone second guess the plan. Luckily, they got an app for that. Okay, and Moira, they got Moira. She agreed to be the sacrificial lamb, considering the amount of years that she spent there, to go in and case out the joint, do a dry run, make sure that they can get in and out with ease, and warn the other ladies that are still there. June is like, you can't do that. They're going to recognize you. She wear a mask. They wear a mask. All the Marthas are wearing masks now. She can wear a mask. Okay. Well, June, it seems like your plan to sabotage their plans just got your friend put on the front line, because Moira was not going to go in and do any type of recon. But since you keep on yapping off the mouth and what's going to be wrong, what's going to do this, now Moira is going. Well, back in New Bethlehem, Commander Joey just got promoted to the High Commander, which is, I'm assuming, why this is considered promotion, and also probably a promotion as far as Luke's standing is concerned as well. Now, Commander Joey, not just sleeping with the dogs and waking up with the fleas, he is a mangy mutt himself, through and through. I've always said he was anyway, right? So he tells Wharton that the UK and Mexico, they're going to be on board under the guise of New Bethlehem returning their refugees to them. Well, now that he's promoted, the fellas want to treat him some little titties and tails over Jezebel's, right? And Naomi just tried to warn him that he will be pressured to perform, okay, which is something that he has not been able to do. He can't even perform with his new wife Naomi. She trying to get some, but now he about to be put to a test. The way that they portrayed that and play that out, it did not vote. It did not. I don't know what's the word. I want to. What to say? It did not play out well for me. It's another word I was going to try to say though. But anyway, Wharton, he decides he's not going to indulge. You know, Wharton is better than the rest of them. He doesn't indulge in the sins of the flesh. And luckily for Nick, he wouldn't have had to either, because Nick Wharton was like, we need to be back home. Rose cooking dinner for us. Okay. So Wharton got him out of frolicking. But I was like, well, what would Commander Joey do? He going to be under frolicking or licking? Which one? Frolic or licking down at Jezebel's. So anyway, June come over to Moira and tell her, you ain't going to Jezebel's. Okay, Moira's like, excuse me? She said, you ain't going. I'ma go instead. Moira like, I'm a grown ass woman. You might want to check yourself when you telling me what the fuck I can and cannot do. You going to Alaska. Okay? I'm not. Okay? And so she's like, no, you going to Alaska. And Moira say, no. I'm not trying to live life for you anymore. This ain't your life, okay? So then we go over to, they're getting all the information and the intel on who all the handmaids are that are in Jezebel's, and Janine pictures come up. And they like, oh shit, my girl is there, right? So now they concerned about making sure that Janine gets out of Jezebel's before anything goes down. So we go over to Jezebel's with Janine. And Janine is being made to frolic for all the commanders, and they looking like, oh shit, that's right, she used to be Commander Joey's girl, and she wasn't there long enough for you to really hit that. So you know what, I'm finna gift her to you. Now Wharton, of course, he never really wanted to have sex with the women. He didn't want to have sex with Emily. They forced him to have sex with June. And he damn sure didn't have sex with Janine. Plus, Commander Joey has been really bonding with baby Angela. What did they name that baby? Because Angela wasn't her name. I thought Naomi called her something else. Anyway, he's been really bonding with her. Naomi is like really standoffish with the kid. Really don't give a fuck about her for real. She treats her like shit. And Commander Joey's supposed to be this loving, caring father-like figure for her. So he got sent off to the room with Janine. And of course they do nothing. No bed squeaking, no moaning, no nothing coming from the room to try to pretend that they actually end up doing something. He basically sat down and just conversated with her. Have a conversation. It's conversated the word. I always fuck that up. Having a conversation with her about why she ended up there and how Naomi was the one who was hard pressed on sending her there. He made sure she was there and not the colonies or hanging on the wall. So this was the best place for her for a chance of survival based off of her history and everything like that. Then he told her about Angela, how happy of a child she was, and he pulled out the drawing that she did for him, and he gave that to her, and she made him promise that she was gonna take him my baby girl, that she gonna continue to live a good life. Okay, I don't know what's gonna happen to me, but make sure that my daughter is taken care of. He was like, you already know, I got you. Okay, and y'all already know that Nick just pissed me off. Rita goes up to the house to meet with Nick, and he tells her that he can get her and her family out of Gilead altogether, out of New Bethlehem all together. It's gonna take him a little while. It's maybe take him a couple of years, but he can do it. And I'll say, but you haven't been able to do it, or you haven't even attempted or wanted to try to do it for Hannah. All you did was use Hannah to trap the fucking handmaids. The woman that you love got a motherfucking daughter locked up there, but I guess since it's not your fucking daughter, you don't want to help her. You can get Rita's sister found and brought there. And now you can get Rita and her entire family out, but you ain't got the power to do it for Hannah. Fuck you, Nick. Okay. Fuck you, man. Nick tells her it's better where they are. They're safer there. He's responsible for making sure it stays that way. So Rita tells him, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay in New Bethlehem. Fuck you, Nick. That's all I'm saying. Fuck you, Nick. And fuck June, too. Fuck June, too. She went to Ellen and tried to backdoor Moira. Basically told her that Moira is frail, she's simple-minded, she can't think for her goddamn self, and how she built for it tough. Okay, how a fucking friend is in there and she considers that friend a sister. And if shit go down, she know that Nick is going to be the one to help her. Moira ain't got that type of backing or standing. Let's not forget, you're the reason that your fucking friend is back there, June. Because remember, you turned them the fuck in. And if your friend, your commander friend, was such a good motherfucking man, he'd be trying to help your friend that was still there anyway. He'd be trying to help you get your fucking daughter anyway. If Moira got into trouble, he would try to help her anyway. But y'all too motherfucking selfish with one another that y'all only gonna do what the hell serves you and yourselves. What's good for the two of you. June and Serena Joy, with their savior complexes, they are one in the fucking same. I keep saying it over and over again. So June tried to tell Luke what they gonna do, okay, and what they not gonna do, and how they gonna take their ass back to Alaska. She the one that's gonna be able to save the day. And Moira had ended up getting the word from Ellen. She came down like, really, girl? How fucking disrespectful are you? Okay, June insists that she knows every damn thing. That her and Luke, Moira and Luke don't know shit, and they gonna get themselves killed. Moira and Luke are both like, how fucking dare you? How fucking disrespectful for you to come in here and try to blow our shit up. She tell Luke, look, you go to Alaska, you take care of mama, and you take care of Nick's baby. Okay, and he's like, that's your motherfucking mama. You go back. I was so proud of Luke in this moment. So proud of Luke. But June insists that she is the all-seeing, the all-knowing, and she's the only motherfucking one who's right. And Moira would say, so you think that little of us? I'm like, you this about it? Then why don't you have Hannah? If you this about it, June, okay? Anyway, Moira would say, I'm fucking going. At first she told her, you can go with me, if you gonna go, but you gonna go with me. But in the end she told her, don't follow me anywhere. Don't follow me. Okay, Luke say exactly what I have been saying. This ain't even about us. This is about you and what you want. And she like, the hell? I wouldn't even be here if I didn't come to rescue you. Did nobody ask you to come rescue them? Again, you went because that's what you wanted. You went because you wanted to see Nick. That's what you wanted to do. Luke say, oh really? Then go back then. You rescued us, your job done. You can go back to Alaska. Job over. Okay, but the truth of the matter is, she wants to go back. He said, you want to go back and fight. And I'm like, no, she want to go back for Nick. Okay, but she want to make sure that Nick is good and not hurt by your bombs. Okay, let's tell the truth and shame the fucking devil. Luke says, look her, I built this plan from the ground up. I delivered the bombs, my bombs, to my locations that I picked. I'm fighting for my daughter. It's my chance now, right? You fighting for Nick. That's me saying it. Okay, I added that last part. But if Luke only knew, Luke probably knew, but just they don't want to say it. Later that evening, he feeling a little bit apologetic. He come out there and says to her, look, I understand that you want to fight. Then go with me. Let's fight together. Okay, let's go rescue our child together. And she like, now, that he mentions Hannah. Now that he mentioned Hannah, it just came to her recollection what the fuck he's trying to do. And she says, I do want to fight for her, but have y'all ever heard that phrase that the word but negates everything that comes before it? And that's exactly what she just did. I kind of tuned out what she said next. It was something like, it's not worth the feeling of being so close to her but being unable to touch her. She's no longer worth my pain. She's no longer worth my sacrifice. That's what I heard her say. That's not the words that came out of her mouth, but that's the words that I heard her say. She said something along the lines like, it hurts like hell every time she slips from her grasp. It's like losing her over and over again, and it has broken her. It has broken them as a family, and she doesn't want that type of pain from him. She's trying to save him from that pain. He's like, you can't stop that. And we both may be broken. Our family may be broken. But I already had the impossible happen once before. And she was like, what's that? You fool, you came back. So I believe in the possible. And I'm going to believe in the possible for Hannah too. June is like, even if your plan works, which it won't. See that right there. That right there. Which it won't. That wasn't my words. That's hers. It doesn't mean that we're going to make it to her. I just want you to understand that. And I was like, again, if your fucking boyfriend really cared about you. But I digress. Luke said we still gotta try though. Just because we know that it may not happen don't mean I'm not gonna stop trying. Okay. June has basically given up on Hannah. That's all I can say. And this is my reason, I think, why. Because the only person she cares about is Nick. Only reason why she cares about Holly, because she cares about Nick. And she thinks that's Nick's baby. And she really has disconnected from Luke. And really has disconnected herself from Hannah, truth be told. Okay? That's just my thoughts and opinions on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Leave your comments down in the comment section. I'm going to be rolling out episode 5 and 6 the rest of this week. And then we'll get the final episodes next week. Y'all have a good day. Peace.